Let me tell you, I never realized how fast a small dream could turn into a living nightmare until I moved to Maple Grove and met the queen of the HOA. You'd think buying a blue cottage with a picket fence was some kind of American fantasy. Turns out it was more like signing up for a psychological experiment in control and pettiness. I signed every paper, paid every fee. But she didn't want me gone, she wanted me punished. That's the thing about some people. It's never about rules, it's about keeping you under their thumb, dragging you back every time you think you're free. You ever felt that? Like you're playing a game and nobody bothered to hand you the rule book. So I show up one bright March morning thinking I'd finally found my place to start fresh new job as a civics teacher. Finally enough room for a little apple tree, maybe a tomato plant or two. The realtor downplayed the HOA, said they mostly did barbecues, and maintained the pool, made it sound like summer camp for grown-ups. Rookie mistake. First Saturday, I'm digging a hole in the front yard dirt under my nails, happy as a clam, when a shadow falls across my porch. There she is, blazer perfect hair, sunglasses bigger than my future problems. President of the Homeowners Association, let's call her Deborah. Smile like a shark scanning my yard like she's looking for landmines. She welcomes me, kind of, then slides right into nice tree. We have an approval process for landscaping, Helps keep everything coordinated, the kind of casual that's anything but. I try to play along, tell her I read the rules, I thought small plants were okay, but she's got this way of making even a question feel like an interrogation. She leaves with a smile, eyes lingering on that apple tree like she's already writing me up. 3 days later, I get my first notice of violation. Unauthorized landscaping. $50 due in a week for a $30 tree. I laugh until I see the violation was dated before I planted it. Yeah, you heard me right. I call the number. She answers sweet as pie but with an edge. Technically, preparing the soil is landscaping activity. Come on, I say, you told me not to worry. She says not to worry, this time I'm not escalating. The fine is standard. Think of it as a learning experience. A $50 lesson in how fast neighborly can turn into nasty. And if I want to plant anything else. Fill out a form, draw a site plan, cough up a $25 fee, then wait a month for them to bless my petunias. I try to keep my cool civics teacher right, but the next week is a blizzard of violations. Car parked 24 inches from the curb, not 30. $25 fine. Grass too tall by half an inch, $35. Trash can out too early, hose on the wrong side, mailbox misaligned. $130 in fines by the time the week's done. And every morning I'm opening new letters like it's some kind of punishment ritual. It gets under your skin. First you're annoyed, then you doubt yourself, then you start wondering if the whole setup is a trap, and you just walked right into it. One evening I run into Robert, my neighbor, the kind of guy who knows which way the wind's blowing, always has the best tomatoes. He gives me this look sympathetic, like he's seen this show before. He hints this isn't the first time Deborah's pulled these moves. Later, he hands me a faded envelope from an old mailbox. Inside is a note from the last owner, Tom Miller. Don't let her win. HOA paperwork has problems. Check the renewal dates. Now I'm a teacher, not a detective, but even I know when the universe is telling me to start digging. So I go full nerd charts, dates, violation photos, all the fine print. Turns out Deborah's targeting new residents, the folks least likely to push back. The neighbors with real violations. Nothing. Just us easy targets. And buried in the HOA's paperwork, I spot it. She gets 15% of every fine straight into her pocket. Suddenly, the light bulb goes off. This isn't about community, it's about running a shakedown. Next move, I call her out. I see the president collects 15% of fines. Is that accurate? Her mask slips. She talks about harmony, about knowing my place. Threats right there in her voice. At this point, I know I need more than a strongly worded letter. So I go to the courthouse, dig up the incorporation papers. Get this, the HOA's authority expired a year ago. Every fine, every threat, every nickel, she's shaken out of the neighborhood, not legal. I get a lawyer, get ready to push back. In the meantime, I sell my house. 3 offers in a week. Young couple buys it, no idea what they're walking into. I move downtown, finally breathe easy for about 2 weeks. That's when the lawsuit lands. She's suing me for unpaid fines and damage to community reputation. Her attorney calls, wants to settle. I say, show me your legal standing, discovery time. I file my own motion move to dismiss countersue for fraud. Drop the bomb evidence. The HOA's been running without authority for over a year. The next community meeting is pure theater news, travels fast in small towns. Deborah tries to bluff her way through, but I bring out the Secretary of State's records. Residents read voices rise. She's been pocketing money, threatening people, running the whole show on an expired charter. Mrs. Roberts, sweet, quiet lady, paid $2,000 in fines, sold her wedding jewelry to pay them, stands up and tells her story. It hits like a punch to the gut. Turns out Deborah's got history. Did the same thing in Texas, fled when it fell apart. Now the board's in revolt. Her lawyer bails a reporter, gets wind. State Attorney General opens a fraud case. Deborah disappears, vanishes from her own house car, gone, lights off. You can run, but you can't hide forever. Within months, the story explodes, newspapers, TV, radio. My phone rings nonstop. People from all over, happen to us too. She should be in jail. How do I fight my HOA? Residents file a class action. 47 families over, $30,000 in illegal fines. The Attorney General finds more tax fraud, forged documents, multiple felonies. Fast forward, a judge sentences Deborah to 3 years in prison, 5 on probation orders. Full restitution bans her for life from HOA boards. The legislature passes Deborah Jenkins laws statewide. My little blog, HOA Legal Watch, becomes a resource for families across the country. I even get a letter from Tom Miller's widow, you finished what he started. Funny thing is, the story doesn't end there. Deborah gets out of prison and asks to meet. I show up out of curiosity. She looks older, softer. Says she's sorry, says she's working for a nonprofit now, trying to help other communities avoid the same mess. Life's weird, right? Sometimes villains turn into advocates. Every semester I tell my students this story, how standing up isn't just about knowing your rights, but fighting for them, even when you're scared, even when you're alone. I drive by the old house. Sometimes the apple tree is taller than I am. New owners have filled the yard with flowers. No two fences look alike. The whole street's come alive. No more fear, no more silence. But I keep thinking, how many more Deborahs are out there? How many families paying fines they don't owe, too scared to fight back? Maybe you've seen something like this. Maybe you've lived it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done? And if you want more stories that dig up the dirt under the surface, you know where to find me. Power only wins if you stay quiet. So speak up, share your story, because you never know who's listening or who needs a little sunlight to see the truth.